Hello to the photography lovers, amateurs, or to the ears that found this podcast thanks to the algorithm. Maybe it's your day of luck, because today we're going to be able to learn about the third art and focus on photography. So, welcome everyone to our first episode. This podcast aims in introducing the fundamentals of photography. My name is Meili, hi, and I'm really glad to have you here. In this series, we're going to share some tips to begin this new journey. We will try to clarify how could we progress and how could we stay inspired. Today, we're going to focus on the basis of composition with the rule of thirds. Then we will continue with a little bit about my experience in photography. And finally, I'll give you my top 3 tips to begin your journey as a photographer. The rule of thirds is the first notion that I've ever learned in photography. This is a composition guideline that breaks an image into 9 equal parts. Imagine 4 grid lines dividing your image, 2 horizontally and 2 vertically. According to the rule, you must position your key elements along the grid line or on the point created by the lines. It works for horizontal and verticals. You can find the grid of the rule of third in most cameras or in the setting of your phone. Some photographers actually believe that the rule of thirds is a poor foundation for learning photographic composition, and it is only restraining your creativity. But I think that once you have a solid grasp of the rule of third, and that you understand why it can improve compositions, you can have the freedom to experiment with breaking the rules. My father always told me that in his life, he fell in love 3 times. When he was 19, he fell in love with my mother, then with his 2 beautiful daughters, but his first love will always be photography. I think you have already guessed it, but as you can see, or as you can hear, I was raised between the lenses, the camera bodies, and the cliches of my father. Indeed, I don't think I have a memory of him without a camera in his hand. And in some way, he kind of handed me his passion. Now that I'm a little bit more grown up, I understand the beauty of this art. For example, the magic moment when you succeed to immortalize an instant of life. The pride you can feel when you capture the right emotion with the right angle and composition. But at the beginning of my photography journey, the poetic aspect of photography wasn't the most obvious one. I was scared to be judged by others, to even shoot on the street because I didn't want to disturb others or make them uncomfortable. I was frustrated because I couldn't produce the pictures that I had in mind. I'm sure you also experiment those feelings while trying to find a new hobby. But when you understand and accept that it is okay to suck at what you're doing and that you need to go through those painful steps to be able to improve, this unpleasant feeling just goes away. Now I enjoy going on a walk with my camera in hand and trying to capture what catches my attention. It can be flowers, architecture, a man reading his newspaper while waiting for the bus, and so on. Those are my 3 tips to begin photography. First, you don't need the best camera to make the best pictures. You don't need any fancy camera, the best film rolls, or the latest smartphone to be able to express your creativity through photography. You have a whole world of creativity in your hand. Don't make those little details stop you in your creative process. You can use, for example, the rule of thirds that we just mentioned together. The most important thing is what you do with this camera. Second, don't be scared to edit your pictures. I like to make an analogy of photography with cooking. Indeed, the picture that you took without any modification can be compared to a raw piece of meat, or tofu if you don't eat meat. And editing your pictures is like adding some seasoning to your meat. Modifying the colors is like cooking a slice of meat on the grill. And changing the white balance is like adding salt and pepper. Of course, it is okay to have from time to time some raw pictures, but only if they are really high quality. Otherwise, you'll be left with an upset stomach. Third, get inspired. You need to see the world as a photographer to be able to improve. You can go to exhibitions, read specialized magazines, but not only. You can find inspiration in everything. You just need to take the time to observe it more carefully. It can be the cover of an album that you love, the color grading of an independent film that is bringing this unique atmosphere, the choice of angle in a music video, or even a podcast on photography. I get a lot of inspiration through social media, especially from Instagram and Pinterest. Oscar Diaz, or Oscar_DiazX, is a photographer based in New York. He frequently posts his pictures on Instagram and has a bit more than 75,000 followers. I like how his photography looks like they're stuck in time, even though they were shot recently. Jazz is able to make us time travel by capturing the image of some stranger in the street. It can be the funny face of a kid in the subway or an extravagant outfit. His work reminds us of the beauty of life. Thank you, dear listener, for staying until the end. This first episode is the beginning of a new chapter. Today, we'll learn about the fundamental of composition with the rule of third. I was able to share a little bit about my own experience. Then, we saw the importance of editing and inspiration in photography. If you want to follow my adventures daily, make sure to follow me on Instagram at focusonphotography.png. It is a place where I post about my work and share some more tips. I'll hope to see you soon, my dear photographer. But until then, I'm going back to my journey with my camera in hand.